Hello, this is Holy3456, and today we're going to be building the ElfBall deck that was suggested by NumotFlame96 from the MTGSalvation Forum. The reason why I chose this deck was because I had a previous version of the deck, but at the time there wasn't, Priest of Titania was not out online yet, and also one of the big decks at the time was mono black control, and basically Crypt Rats was obviously very bad for the deck, and the metagame sort of shifted, even though you still have to worry about something from say from 8 post like Seismic Shudder, or any other deck that might run a 1 damage to all creatures. The 1 damage or Crypt Rats or type spells aren't as main deckable or prevalent due to the metagame. Fairies is out there now. Teps in very many different forms, or the Perfect Storm decks are out there. And I just thought it would be a nice fun deck to sort of revitalize and see what we can make out of it. So the first thing I wanted to do was sort of start from the beginning. So I don't have anything chosen yet. I really haven't looked to see what new elves are out there. So this will just be sort of a very rough draft to begin with. So first thing we're going to do, obviously, is we're going to want to get Priest of Titania. And another one of the cards that they had mentioned was basically this will be a blue-green version, and what we were looking for was Distant Melody. I hope I spelled that right. Nope, still not spelling it right. And for those that are unfamiliar with this card, basically what it is, as you can see from the side here, it's 1 blue, 3 colorless. It's a sorcery, and when you cast it, you get to choose a creature type, and in this case we're going to choose elves because our deck will be mostly with elves, and you get to draw a card for each of those permanent types you control. So basically, in theory, what you'd like to do is you'd like to get a bunch of mana out there, a bunch of elves, and cast Distant Melody. Hopefully draw anywhere from 6 to 10 cards, and within those cards hopefully draw another Distant Melody. And then what you would do is you would cast more elves, cast another Distant Melody, and basically what you're looking to do is draw your entire deck and then finish them off in some way. The old ElfBall decks in 1.5, before it became Extended or Legacy, way back when, they actually used to run Karavic's Torch as the kill. The ElfBall decks, or the Elf decks from a recent Extended Pro Tour, they basically just ran, there are some variations of it, but basically they just attacked, made their creatures large and just attacked it. But in our case, we don't have access to some of those tools and some of the cards and engine cards that allowed that deck to succeed. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to go with the Storm one, just because it can't really be counterspelled, and typically with the type of deck we're going to be building, it's going to be drawing a lot of its deck or all of its deck, so we're going to have to basically run 1 to 2 kill cards. So we're going to add Distant Melody. We're going to check to see what other elves we want. But what we're looking for is basically low casting cost elves that are going to be able to accelerate or tap for mana. In this case, we're going to add Fyndhorn Elves. Another important part also are Birchlore Rangers. This allows you to tap 2 creatures, basically for any colored mana. So not only can you get blue, but even the elves that have Summoning Sickness, you'll still be able to get mana from on the turn that they come into play. So we want to make sure we have 4 of these. Another vital part is Nettle Sentinel. Basically, anytime you cast a green spell, they untap. So in this case, if we're casting one casting cost elves and we have 2 Nettle Sentinels in play, it's actually free. And the more Nettle Sentinels we get into play, the more mana we can generate. So we have 4 of these guys. Llanowar Elves, we'll be adding those in. Basically the same thing as Fyndhorn Elves, just with a different name. I also like Devoted Druid. Even though it does cost 2 mana, you can untap it by itself. So I think we're going to add Devoted Druid in here. I'm just going to check on some of the other 1 casting cost elves. And while I'm making this deck, even though it may not be a tier 1 deck in the end, maybe not even a tier 2 deck, what I'm basically going to do is just try to create it as best we can with the field that we expect for competitive play, such as, you know, we're going to see a lot of taps, we're going to see a lot of affinity, a lot of 8-post, a lot of fairies. So we're going to sort of create the main deck to hopefully handle those decks, and then add sideboard cards to either shore up those matchups or basically some of the other field, like White Weenie, maybe worry about goblins some, definitely poison, because that seems to be a very popular deck also. So we're going to focus on the sideboard a little bit later. I just sort of want to get a base down to see maybe what can be added, what can be cut, and you know, what other changes we have to make to the base deck to make it workable. So one of the other cards that I like for combo decks that are digging is Preordain. The reason why I like this, the Preordains over say Brainstorm or Ponder, is because they actually allow you to dig through the deck. So if you're looking for one specific card, you know, you can always put the 2 cards on the bottom and then see a 3rd card. And even though you see that with Ponder, sometimes you actually have to get stuck with the card you're looking at, or you just get to see a random, you know, a random card if you decide to shuffle. So another card that I like also is Impulse. And again, because it allows you to dig basically 4 deep, and you get to choose one of those cards. Now there's Peer Through the Depths, which is also another option, but unfortunately if you're looking for, say, another Nettle Sentinel, or if you're looking for a Priest of Titania, unfortunately that, you know, you're not going to be able to select one of those cards with Peer Through the Depths. So I'm just going to get Impulse to try. Another card that I like is Lotus Petal. Obviously, the free card. It doesn't cost you any mana to cast. In this case, it actually color washes you, so you can actually choose, say, you know, you can get your blue mana to cast Distant Melody. And I'm trying to think about how we want to go about lands and how many we actually want to run. I'm wondering if I have the depletion lands for green, which I do. I think I actually want to try these. My most recent Teps version, I've been running all of the Peat Box, Sandstone Needle, and Saparan, I can't even say it, Scary Lands, so I think we actually want to try it in this one. Let's see. Another card that I kind of like that I want to try is Land Grant. Basically, as long as you don't have any land in your hand, it'll be a free spell. But we'll see how it goes. It might not be the best card for this deck, mostly because with Distant Melody, you're hopefully going to be drawing 6 to 10 cards, and unfortunately, you may get stuck with a land in your hand, so it will no longer be free. But we'll give it a try. And again, you know, if it doesn't work out, definitely we can take them out. Let's see, forests. We're going to have 4 land grant. 4 land grant for Lotus Petal. I think in this case we're going to go probably 10 forests. And 2 island. It may come back that we might actually want to add in, say, Terramorphic Expanse or Evolving Wilds, but the problem is that you have to basically wait an entire turn after you draw it to make sure you get the right colored land. And in this case, we're aiming at either going off, hopefully before other combo decks, which may not be possible in the end, but again, I'd like to try to make it as fast as possible to start with. So we're going to add in two lands here, 2 islands. I just sort of want to take a look here at the deck. We actually probably want to add a few more islands because we're running Impulse, Preordain, and Distant Melody. And really the only way we have to get blue at the moment, other than early blue mana, is with Lotus Petal. So actually I think I'm going to go up on land here. 4 islands. And we'll give this a shot. Again, this is a very rough draft. And I almost forgot the win condition. And even though in most cases we're going to be drawing our entire deck, I like to actually run 2 win conditions to start with, just in case one gets discarded. Black decks are still sort of prevalent as far as discard goes. In this case, actually, I'm going to drop a land grant because I'm not 100% sure how that's going to go. And I'm going to drop probably an Impulse because those are, I believe those will be the first 2. If I'm going to start making cuts to add other pieces to this deck, those would be the first cards that I would cut. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And my next set of videos will be in the tournament practice room, and we'll just see how it goes. Hopefully there won't be too many changes, and we'll work on a sideboard after that. And thanks for watching.